Welcome to Surviving Life's Traumas and Dramas podcast, where me and my family have come together to share our experiences of our traumas and dramas and hopes it will provide you a place of comfort and encouragement with zero judgment. Just real conversations of our journeys so you never have to feel alone on yours. So, loving yourself. That's always been a hard one for me. And I still struggle with it a lot because I'm trying to figure out I think that loving yourself is showing up for yourself, and that's really hard to do for me. Like self-care, for example. Oh my dang. That is so hard to do. And it can be as simple as getting your nails done, getting your hair done, buying an outfit, or, I don't know, having some wine at the end of the week. I don't know. But it's really hard for me. But I also know that it's really important because when you start self-loving, then you start respecting yourself more.
Yeah.
Anybody want to jump into that?
We're a sleepy bunch this morning.
I know, like in the past, like I've definitely struggled with loving myself. I've been trying to be more mindful over the last couple of years of doing self-care, just taking 30 minutes to go take a bath or something just to kind of reset myself. I guess having alone time with myself just so I have time with my own thoughts and kind of, process through different things. But it's hard to balance when you have kids and family and all sorts of different struggles, because there was definitely a part for doing that. Like, I felt selfish. Even just taking 30 minutes for myself made me feel selfish because I was taking that away from my kids. I don't know. It's different. It is important.
It is important. Yeah, knowing it's okay to spend the money and then be able to relax, that you deserve to relax.
Need to be there, buddy. He's just saying hi. My dogs are saying hi. Okay, out. Good boys. Good boys, go. Good boys, go. Good boys, go.
They're like self-love. You can love us too.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain my thought process just because, I don't know, maybe just because I never felt good enough to take care of myself. Not good enough like I'm sick, but good enough like I deserve it, or like it's okay, or like maybe that I have to get permission to be able to take it. Yeah, that I have to get permission to be able to take care of myself, without being worried that it's not okay. That's just.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because as you're talking, I'm thinking back about when I was in my previous life with my ex. I felt I felt bad if I were to buy a new outfit, or I felt bad if I were to spend any money on myself because it was, I don't know, I felt bad.
Or it's, well, you did this, so why can't I do this? Like shoving it in my face. You did this, you're doing this, why can't I do this? Or I get to do this because you did that. That's what I dealt with. And getting past that and healing on both sides of that, me and the other situation, I think was a big thing. And once, I guess the first pedicure that I did, because I was not very long ago, but I just like, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm gonna, I think it's more of a mindset that I had to know within myself that I could take care of myself, that it was okay, that it wasn't gonna be not a fight, but a challenge, I don't know what the right word is, but it was more of a mindset with me because it was like, kind of like our thoughts, what I was thinking might happen did happen. And when I started thinking differently and loving myself more, then, and getting that mindset, it was a different story, and to where maybe, not just loving myself more, but showing more love maybe. And it's like, you know what, I'm doing this, go ahead and do this. I'm taking care of this, you know, why don't you do that? You know what I'm saying? It's where it's like,
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying.
okay, like my books.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of money's going out for my books.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, you know what? I don't want anything because this money's going out. And it's like more of an appreciation. What would you like? I'm doing this. What would you like to go ahead and do this? You know, I want to buy this car to fix up. You know what? Go ahead. You deserve it. It gives you something to do when it's like when the balance
But
it looks
that's more like compromising, not self-love.
Right.
well to me it's
Like, how do you love yourself?
My dog. Hey, stop being crazy.
I guess that's a good question. I guess through the pedicures, because I do enjoy them and I do need them, through the gym,
There you go.
because, and I make sure, yeah, I'm up really early, but it's like, you know, like tanning at the gym, it's like, I need to feel good about myself, and so that's
There you
how
go.
I feel.
That's how you self-love.
And it just,
It's
I will bring up something that happened
Oh,
between us
yes.
recently.
do it.
I texted you, what do you want from Dutch?
Uh-huh.
And what was your first response?
oh,
No,
dad
leave it.
wants-
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
Oh, that's why you said, that's not
Monday.
what I asked.
Leave it.
Mhm.
Ah, okay,
Because
see,
I
I
was
didn't
asking
get that
what
till you
you
just said that. No, see, I didn't, yeah.
That's kind of what I feel like this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
Is like, as women, and maybe that's controversial, but I think we're always looking after everybody else,
And
that we don't focus on ourselves. And like when I specifically said, what do you want
Nico,
from Dutch?
leave it.
Your
Nico,
immediate response
leave it.
was what? Dad wanted.
yeah.
So you have to value yourself too and speak up for what you want. 'Cause it's not all about him.
No.
And I know that it is easy to put husbands first, to put kids first above yourself. And that's, I think, why self-love is so important. Because we are so focused on everybody else that we forget about ourselves. I mean, so much, in fact, that when our kids grow up and we're empty nesters, it's like, holy crap. What is my favorite meal? What's my favorite color? What's my hobby? What do I like to do? And we have to kind of figure out who we are again, because we lost it as we were married and raising kids, and so that's why I wanted to bring up self-love, because it's so easy to lose that, and it's so easy when you lose self-love, or when you stop loving yourself, it's so easy to also start losing respect for yourself, to start not finding yourself worthy anymore, to start accepting disrespect and how it affects you. And it's like, hold on, wait, how the heck did I get here? But going to what you said, it's, well, hold on, wait, I'm in compromise mode. When that's not what it is. It's, how do you self-love?
Well then, I mean, because we are always pouring into others, I found self-love for me is me pouring back into myself to recharge. Because I got so drained and depressed and just overly anxious that it was critical that I had to start, taking time for me.
Because how are you gonna fill into somebody else's cup if yours is empty?
That's right.
And it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Even if it's just the car ride to work,
Mm-hmm.
jamming out in the car and people driving by and look at you funny, because you're you know, singing your heart out, whatever. But you know, just taking a few minutes for yourself, it's very, very important to do in church.
Do you have a problem with that, Nick? Taking time for yourself?
No.
I love that so
I knew you
much.
would.
No, I didn't. I think that it took me many years to realize, and it's not necessarily with, like really close relationships, but with like friends and people that are more like acquaintances, that I was doing so much for other people that they would never do for me. And that, like, literally going out of my way to try to help people, mostly in like a I'm here for you capacity, like, because I do, like, I feel like I can listen really well when people come to me with something and just like validate them in that way without it being without it draining me necessarily. I think some people can get drained by that, but it doesn't necessarily drain me for the most part. And so I've been able to separate myself from it. So I was doing that and giving and giving and giving, but I was never getting anything back from any of these people. So, and it got to the point also in even my marriage, which is a good marriage, but still where I felt like I was giving so much and I wasn't getting that back the way I should be getting that back, to where I just kind of became a bitch about it and was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. 100% I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not gonna give to you something you're not giving to me. And immediately he started giving it and continues to give it. But with certain people, I just had to cut them out of my life. Like, if you're not gonna do anything, and I think that we're like raised to think that that sounds bad, to be like, if you're not gonna do anything for me, why am I doing something for you? But it doesn't have to be in that capacity. It doesn't have to be like in a selfish way. Relationships are given. That's what they're supposed to be. Because why would somebody give 100% to only get back 10? It doesn't work. I think sometimes we have to give more for our partner, for our children, for people that we really care about and value. And sometimes they have to give more to us. But when it comes to everyday life, it should be a give and take thing. So I don't struggle with that anymore. At this point, I'm literally just like, bye. Bye. Like, I don't need you in my life then. And when it comes to my relationship with my husband, that man is a giver. He was born to be that. So he fills into me so much that I don't struggle with that part, I guess. Struggle with other things. Maybe those things aren't things we're talking about, but with that, I don't. So.
I love that for you.
But it took years also though. It's not just like something overnight.
Right. Well, and part of that self-love is discovering that, right? Part of that self-love is being like, hold on, wait, time out. I need to pour into myself because people aren't pouring into me. I need to pour into myself because if I'm not pouring into myself, who the fuck else is gonna pour into me? A partner, sure, but not all the time partners pour into you. Like that's not always a thing, right?
Well, that, and you can't expect them to meet every single one
That's
of your
that's
needs.
exactly correct.
Right.
Like that's completely unrealistic, right? And so it's almost a mandate for you to pour into yourself, because if you don't pour into yourself, like you were saying earlier, how can you pour into other people? How can you give it to other people if you're not having that for yourself?
It's a hard balance. And I also think that coming with like from the thought of self-love, because it can be different for everybody, like how they're able to show up for themselves. I think that like if we're thinking more like introspectively about that, we are teaching people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how much we show up for ourselves, how much we set boundaries and love ourselves and are able to be like, actually, I'm not going to tolerate that from you. Or actually, because I do this for you and I'm always there for you, I expect you to be able to do something for me in some capacity. That is like a huge part of loving yourself. And it's a huge part of why I think relationships can really dwindle
Oh, yeah.
when women start to realize their worth and they start to show up for themselves.
Well, and also too, speaking of that, it's also, oh gosh, what was it? I just had it and then the dogs distracted me.
No, leave
I
it.
forgot what I was gonna say. But, yes, showing up for yourself is so important. It really is. And having somebody to help you with that too, like, hey, I see that you're having a bad night, so let me pour you a bath. Or I see that you're having a bad night, let me cook dinner for the family. And I think that it's really important to not only receive that, but to follow through with that, because I know I'm so guilty of this. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at it. When my husband's like, hey, I see that you're having a bad night, like, let me cook, or, do you want a mommy drink or whatever? I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. And I have a really hard time receiving love. And that is why I feel like it's really important to self-love, because the more you self-love, the easier it is to receive love. And so now, especially at first, when him and I first got together, I was like,
What is this?
what do you want? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, like, for real. And now I'm like, okay, I'll allow it, but only for right now. Just because, I'm still, like I said, it's a working progress, right? But I'm getting better at receiving love, but at the same time, because I'm so used to giving love, I'm not used to receiving it, and so I'm like, no, because if I'm receiving love, I also feel kind of guilty for receiving love, because it's like, maybe I'm not giving enough love to you, so I feel like I have to overcompensate, but that's not at all what's happening.
No, but you bring up a interesting perspective, because how guarded you are to receive it. I think that's probably makes it even more important for us to love ourselves so we get used to it, because there's so many people that have been hurt in life by a number of things, but it is hard for a lot of us to receive love, because there is that connotation of, what do you want?
Yeah.
We all have these walls, you and me have talked, it, in the beginning it's very hard to get to know you, because you have a lot of walls, and I know I have a lot of walls. You just admitted you
I
have some
do.
walls,
Protection.
so maybe us giving ourselves self-love is a way to break down those walls.
Yeah.
It's an interesting perspective. Yeah, I like what you said.
I think there's also a huge expectation for women who are mothers in particular, that they have to always give everything, and then even what they don't have, to being a mother. And I don't disagree with that. Our children are our legacy. They're the most important things that we do. But I don't think that we're teaching our children right if we're putting ourselves on the back burner all the time. And if we're allowing our partner to put us and our needs on the back burner to theirs and to the kids'. I think that we should be able to show our kids that it's okay to love ourselves. It's okay that we need a little time out sometimes. It's okay that we need to go get our nails done, or we need to have a mommy drink. Never heard that expression. But that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think it teaches, if we have daughters, it teaches them to be able to do that. And if we have sons, they can do that too. But also I think it teaches them to love a woman in that capacity when they're older. I just think it's so important, and it doesn't mean that we're not good moms. It doesn't mean that we don't love them more than anything, and we would literally throw ourselves in front of a bus to protect them. It
Well,
doesn't mean that.
And I think the important thing to realize with what you just said is, kids learn by example. They don't learn because you have a conversation with them. Kids are very, I know I'm going to say this wrong, coesthetic learners. We're hands-on learners, right? They learn by watching. And I know, I butcher that,
You're saying
Um,
this, but you're doing this.
but yes, and so your kids, you know, to what you were saying, Nick, your kids watch you. They
Yeah.
watch how you self-love. They watch how, if you have a partner, how your partner's treating you. And they watch that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so when I get older, this is how I need to treat somebody, or this is how I need to be expecting myself to not only self-love, so I can pour into others. You know, that's a really beautiful point.
That's why I never understood that expression, and I don't think our generation uses it as much, but like my father, I don't know, I'm not saying this is third generation. But I used to hear all the time, do as I say, not as I do.
Oh,
my
come
What,
on.
what the hell does that,
Yeah.
what? We're gonna do what you do.
Right.
Like,
That's not a thing.
even if we're doing what you say because we need to follow the rules so we don't get our butts spanked or
Right.
something, we're still gonna do what you
Right.
do.
Why are you being hypocritical?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Well, it's
and
an excuse. So.
yes,
Yeah.
well, and more to that point too. And my husband and I do not like this expression. Happy wife, happy life.
I do not like that.
I knew you wouldn't, but I don't like it because it's
selfish.
not all about one person.
It's selfish.
It's about having that partnership. It's about having that team.
Mhm.
It's not about, oh, happy husband, happy life, happy wife, happy. No, it's a team, and it's about doing it together. And so pouring into each other with that self-love, you pouring into your husband with that self-love, so he can pour into himself and allowing that for that balancing act.
And it makes a woman sound manipulative.
Oh, easily.
It's like she's
Selfish.
like controlling the
Yeah.
household
Oh, yes.
with her
Yeah.
mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everything has to revolve around her,
Yes.
or I'm in trouble.
Yes.
Like I hate that.
Me
that's
too.
that's just so gross. to
And
me.
we're probably gonna get a lot of heat. But that's okay.
Too bad.
I'll take that freaking heat.
I-
I don't even care. I just think that's manipulative.
It is, and I don't appreciate it.
No, I don't either. I just, no.
And I'm not saying I agree with it, but just like thinking about it, a lot of people don't follow that mentality anyways.
No.
Because if you look,
I know
if you
people
look
that
at,
do. That's what I'm
Some.
saying now.
but I would then question, how is that woman actually doing? Is she emotionally drained?
Yep. Because are you actually asking her about if she's happy and if she's doing well?
Exactly.
Also, why the hell is there so many divorces then?
Oh.
Right?
Because apparently she wasn't happy. Apparently you weren't happy. No, people aren't happy, so we're not having a happy wife or a happy life.
Yeah, just because she looks happy on the
Yeah.
outside does not mean she's happy on the
Oh, that
inside.
is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because we are very good at painting a picture.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, even the people that say it, I don't think they believe it either.
Yeah.
Or at least they're not making it reality for them
Right.
in their homes either.
No.
Yeah, people don't see the pain behind the smile.
No.
They don't.
And there's a lot of fake smiles.
Yeah, there is.
Yes,
You know, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?